CBS News senior White House correspondent Weijia Jiang has been standing by and joins us now. Weijia, you know the latest CBS News polling numbers. They find that a majority of Americans do not think the administration has clearly explained their goals in Iran. We have been hearing different stories depending on who you ask and depending on the day or even the hour sometimes. What is your latest understanding on the goal, the mission here? Have we gotten any clarity this morning?
Well, certainly not from that briefing from the Secretary of Defense Pete Hegseth and General Dan Kane. In fact, according to Hegseth, we're just getting started. Those were his words. And he said that the U.S. is accelerating and not decelerating, and warned that many, many more bombs will fall. At the same time, he almost declared victory and said that the U.S. has already annihilated Iran's capability in the water and in the air. But in terms of when this will end, practically it's difficult to gauge because General Kane was asked specifically when the defining moment will be that he, could start to see a victory looming and some kind of escape hatch. And he said, we're not going to signal that to our enemies. When you ask people here at the White House, it's very clear and simple in their minds, which is it will be over when the president's objectives are accomplished. And of course, he has laid them out and continues to lay them out at every opportunity because of polling like the one that you just mentioned. And the president said that he wants to annihilate the Navy, destroy Iran's nuclear capabilities and ballistic program, and prevent terror from being funded by Iran. So, when those things are accomplished, presumably that's when this war will end. He said it could take 4 to 5 weeks. So, no, the short answer is we don't have more clarity in terms of a working time frame. But the signal from the administration is that they are well on their way. President Trump even saying that they are ahead of schedule.
All right, so you just heard the conversation that we were having with Imtiab, and we were talking about diplomatic efforts, not with Iran, but with partner nations, not just in the region, but beyond that. In other words, is the Trump administration actively talking to our allies? I know the president hosted the German chancellor. There's been communication with the UK, but it doesn't seem that there's been a lot of communication with some of our partners in the Gulf. And the big looming question, of course, is the president's upcoming meeting with Xi Jinping of China. This war is potentially going to be problematic for China's economy, given that some 20% of the oil that they import comes from Iran, passes through the Strait of Hormuz. Is the president, is the administration talking in anticipation of this meeting between the two leaders and trying to allay those fears that China may have about this becoming a conflict with no end in sight, as the president indicated that the United States can go on for as long as he desires?
Well, first, since the president launched this attack, he has been on the phone several days in a row with world leaders, including several from that region. But as far as working out a collective solution, they have not crystallized what that may be, only to say that, they are all working in tandem. As far as China goes, it's really notable that during the briefing, Hegseth was specifically asked about this because China and Russia have been so vocal in condemning the strikes on Iran. And Hegseth said they are not a factor, which is quite unbelievable given what you just laid out. I mean, China is Iran's top purchaser of crude oil and also has been accused of helping Iran build its ballistic missiles program by sending supplies there. And so it will most definitely be a conversation when it comes up between the president and Xi Jinping. And of course, the president is scheduled to go to Beijing later this month. And I've been in touch with the Chinese, who have said in no uncertain terms that they believe that the attacks should stop immediately and that these parties need to find a diplomatic solution and continue negotiations. In fact, the spokesperson for the Chinese embassy here said that we should not be operating by rules of the jungle. So they are making very clear that they do, that they condemn what's happening right now between the U.S. and Iran, and that it will complicate things as the president tries to work out a new trade deal with China, because, again, he has threatened some punishing secondary sanctions on any country that continues to do business with Iran.
All right, Weijia, thank you so much.